Hi, folks. My name is Daniel. Welcome to Danny's Corner, and this is a second part on the video about mainly people with disabilities and them being excluded and or being made fun of as well by everyone involved. This is one of those things that bothers me because even other minorities do it. Even people with disabilities, as I have mentioned in um, the video when I discussed the NFB, National Federation of the Blind, and American Council of the Blind. Even within the blind community, they do it to one another. But it's just outrageous, this type of behavior. I have an article here because even people with who are famous have done it, and political figures and talk show hosts have all engaged in this sort of behavior. I could last a long time, so I'm going to read a little bit of an article. And as always, I'm going to post this on YouTube and give you the link on Facebook as well, so you could see what I'm talking about. This controversy happened last year with Beyonce and somebody named Lizzo, who I do not know whom she is, because I am not from this current generation, and I don't listen much to today's music, just to be honest with you. So here's what this says. It was written last year, August of last year. A couple of things are happening in the recent controversies about the use of ableist lyrics in popular music. One is the inherent systemic ableism in our culture that normalizes the use of language that stigmatizes the people with disabilities. Another is the way the response of this recent use of ableist language are seen through the eyes of race. Over the past couple of months, Lizzo and Beyonce were both called out for their use of a word that is considered a slur in the disability community that refers to people with spastic paralysis or cerebral palsy. Both artists quickly took the correction and removed and replaced the offending word from their songs. More recently, the band Big Time Rush was trending on Twitter, not called X, as fans were excited about a previously unreleased song that was leaked to an online platform titled Paralyzed. Black disabled activists Okay, so I'm gonna get that far because it does take me some time to read an article, but I hope that you got where this article is going and where I'm going with this. This is not about making anybody less than. I understand what other minorities go through, and I have spoken about it in my previous video. So for these minorities, especially Beyonce coming from the black minority group, right? A black minority group which has been discriminated against, who's been They have been enslaved. They have suffered a lot. For her to come back and use something, a word that is considered, as the article mentioned, it's a slur. It's an insult for somebody like her and the other person, Lizzo, to use this would be just as bad as me using language that dehumanizes black people or that diminishes their capability. I mean, how are we as people going to move forward if we're tearing one another down? The black community and other groups want respect from your mainstream media, want respect from everyone. The LGBT community wants respect from the same thing. And so here we have TV stations and governments and everybody else pandering to these people. But yet, it turns out that when these people do something, when these groups do something to isolate, to segregate, to insult in any way, even without intending to, people with disabilities, nobody cares about that. There is more representation when it comes to black folks, when it comes to the LGBT, when it comes to women, when it comes to other groups. They're spoken about in politics. They are catered to when it comes to the media. They're you hear these things everywhere. Rights for women, rights for this, rights for that. But there's one group that is missing, or several groups that are missing from the discussion on what should we do with this group or with these people. One of them is people with disabilities. They get cast aside. And seems like nobody cares. It seems as if, oh well, it is what it is. And if we want to have a truly inclusive community, not just for one group or the other, but making sure that everybody receives the same treatment, we ought to be doing something to help all of these groups that are isolated, that are disenfranchised, that are segregated, that are not seen as part of the community as it is right now. But nobody is speaking out. As I've said before, I come from a Hispanic background. It's amazing that in the United States, at least, I don't know about any other country, but in the United States, you can find channels that have a descriptive audio of some sort on your TV. All you have to do is turn on the secondary audio channel, and either it will take you to Spanish or a language menu and or descriptive audio. You have had subtitles for a long time and captions for a long time for those who are hard of hearing or completely deaf. But a lot of the networks that you popularly know still don't have descriptive audio in their either TV channels or in their streaming platforms because that's not important to them. And one of the biggest ones that is completely absent and nobody talks about is the Spanish media. Networks like Univision and Telemundo, because they are the two biggest ones, do not have descriptive programming in their channel nor their streaming services. None whatsoever. But yet they do have, they do make time and they do put effort on including other people who have been disadvantaged in some way or another. Like they try to empower other people and letting everybody else see, oh, this group deserves this and this group deserves that. Some of the groups that are featured are, again, the LGBT community. They get talked. The undocumented immigrants get talked about, and a positive light, etc. But if these people were so concerned about supposedly treating others as equals and not rejecting them and so forth, they would include people with disabilities as well. But when I have tuned into one of their programs that has subtitles and or captions, they always say for English speakers watching out there, they do not mention people with disabilities or how they're going to benefit people with disabilities. That's exclusion. And that's one of the things that both communities, Hispanics as well as English-speaking community, have in common. But the English community at least is doing something. Can they do better? Yes, they can. But the Hispanic community definitely needs to get the ball rolling. The only way that you will be able to see Spanish content being described is if you go to an American-based mainstream platform, meaning Netflix, Amazon Prime, and other streaming services like that. But whenever you go to one of these other streaming services which are catering to specifically the Latino community, you're not going to find anything to include people with disabilities. It's amazing. As I said, I can speak about this for a long time. But I think I have made my point that there isn't enough accessibility for people with disabilities, because whenever they try to fix something, something else gets broken. It turns out that Apple was supposedly the leader when it came to accessibility. You could use the phone outside of the box. In a future video, I'm going to show you how the dictation is horrible now that they have made these new updates. It's horrible. Android is too. But you would think that they would fix these things. One time I got in trouble because one person thought that I was saying something else and that I had insulted her, which I did not. It's just the way that it came out on Android when I dictated the phrase or what I wanted to say. And so definitely there has to be more awareness on what we're doing. This is why I think updates for phones or computers or or any other device should not be rushed. You should pay close attention to the things that you're doing to make sure that everyone who's going to be using this platform is able to use it correctly. And if you need, in this case, people with disabilities on your team to tell you, oh, this is accessible, this is not, this needs work, then hire them. There are engineers that have a disability. There are other people that have disabilities that can help you with this kind of stuff. It's just that companies aren't hiring them. And or what's happening is that a lot of these individuals are for one organization or the other one, instead of being neutral, impartial. It's amazing how we as a society, it seems that we have advanced when we look at all of the things that we have now, but in a way we are also still the same way as we were 200 years ago. Technology has taken us far, but the attitude is still there. If you have enjoyed this video, if you would like me to talk about more things, frustrating as they may be, please consider subscribing to this channel or to my other channel that's completely in Spanish, Hablando con Dani. And share this content. Give a like, comment, give suggestions. As I have mentioned before, I am not able at this moment to add any subtitles or captions. So people with a hearing disability are able to work or are able to understand what I'm saying. Because every one of these services require money, and I'm just a person that's talking here, and I don't have those kinds of funds to do such a thing. But I would like nothing more than to make this content available to everyone. But these companies that are able to, that when an award ceremony or something else that's huge comes up, they throw everything. They don't make any excuses whatsoever to spend money on these lavish parties or these lavish shows or what have you. But for whatever reason, we don't have enough money for making things accessible for people with disabilities. Just amazing. Thank you for tuning in. Leave your comments. What's your idea of what I just said? What, give me some feedback. I would like to hear from you guys. So thank you very much. Appreciate all of you, and I hope to talk to you soon. Be kind to one another.